With us now, Chad Wolf, former acting Secretary of Homeland Security under the Trump administration. Chad, nice to see you as always. So, as I understand this plan that's so far a proposal and has now come from sort of the unnamed sources, otherwise known as, hey, we're floating this thing so we can see how it works in the press, is that you would put GPS monitors on families close to the border when they come across and say, hey, you can't leave Texas or some of these border states, therefore you can't go to the former sanctuary cities that are now, quote unquote, overwhelmed. Does that work?
I don't think it works. I don't think it works for a number of reasons. Look, what we know is many of these migrants who come across the border, their destination is actually not Texas. It's not in South Texas and those communities along the border. So they have a desire, they have a need, and they are expecting to go elsewhere in the country. Two, you have to detain people in order to remove people. That's just how the system works. I lived it for 4 years under the Trump administration. This administration, the Biden administration, doesn't want to detain people. They tell the American people that. You look at their budget; they're asking for less and less money to actually detain individuals. They've removed and eliminated all family detention facilities. So the families are the surge right now, and they can't detain anyone, which means you can't remove them, which is why, certainly outlined in that article, is why they want to keep them there in South Texas along that border so that they're easily removable at the end of the day. The ankle monitors are great. They don't always work at the end of the day. So I think this is, they're searching for things that work. They realize that they are in the weeds and that they're underwater on all of their policies, and it's not getting better. And they're searching for solutions here. And I just don't think that this is going to be a practical one that's going to make a dent in the overwhelming number of folks coming across that border.
Well, look, you've got stages of grief, right, that people go through. Yeah. And I guess at some point there was the denial stage of, hey, there is no crisis at the border's secure. Then it was the stage of blaming all of the red state governors for busing. Sure. Now there is, I guess this stage where they're like, well, we might have to try and find a solution or at least a Band-Aid, searching for one. Texas busing statistics. Since August 22, these cities have received migrants from Texas busing. New York City, 13,000, D.C., 11,000, Chicago, 6,700, Philadelphia, 2,600. But then, by comparison, CBP agents have encountered almost 1 million illegal immigrants since October of 2022. So just really a drop in the bucket, literally, less than 10%, way less than 10% are being put on buses to these cities. How much of this new proposal you think is in response to the idea that blaming these red state governors didn't work?
Well, I think it's certainly that. I think it's also, I think they're getting an immense amount of pressure from the New York City mayor, from the governor of Massachusetts, and actually blue states to actually do something about this. They're tired of seeing these influx of migrants come into their communities, and I think they are actually talking to the administration saying, you've got to come up with a solution. And so the White House and DHS is saying, okay, how do I save face? How do I keep our policies in place, but yet have a dramatic decrease in the number of individuals, for instance, that are going to New York City? But again, this idea that you're going to keep them close to the border so somehow that is easier to remove, that's simply not the case. Most removals occur using flights, using airplanes, and you're able to stage those individuals across the country as we did during the Trump administration. And again, it goes back to detention. You stage them where you have beds, where you can house these individuals perhaps 24 to 48, maybe even 72 hours. While you line up that flight, you get enough to fill up an airplane so that you're able to remove. There's a lot of logistics that go into removing individuals from the country, and it's simply not just as easy as stay in Brownsville, stay in Laredo, and we'll push you back across into Mexico. It's just not how practically it works. So I think there's a lot of problems with that. The other thing I would mention is I think it's interesting. The Biden administration, 2 months ago, the numbers kind of dipped after Title 42, and they said, look, our policies are working. But yet when the numbers go up, as they have in the month of August, they don't actually cite their policies. They cite, well, it's cyclical and it's seasonal and it's all the things that you talked about, Leland. So either the policies drive what works and what doesn't work, but it can't be one or the other.
Gee, politicians wanting to have it both ways. It's color me shocked here in Washington now that the conversation has started again after Labor Day. Chad, it's good to see you as always. Thanks for the time. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation
on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.